right. Good evening.
Hey, good evening.
It's good to see you.
Mm-hmm. It's good to be.
So, I'd like to introduce AFDMA members to one of our directors at large. This is Dr. Josh Boucher. He was voted into director at large last year, was it? I think it was last year.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, and he's made some waves already being on the board. So I thought it would be nice for the membership to kind of get to know you a little bit better and kind of see your face. So tell us a little bit about your training background and how you got into FDM.
Yeah, it's actually Dr. Jose Figueroa's fault and blessing at the same time. No, so I was in my second year at Des Moines University, and he was given a lecture on the introduction to FDM, and we had one lab on this. And he asked the audience to raise their arms up like this, and one guy could only raise it up like this. And he asked him, "Hey, show me where it's hurting. Why can't you do it?" And the guy did this thing.
Mhm.
And so he brought him up in front of the class and treated that nice HTP right there. And the guy's range of motion came back. And I was like, my jaw was on the ground. I couldn't believe what just happened. I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Um, so I was always kind of into manipulation, but this really just like I dove head first into this once I saw it. And later was treating a patient who same thing, and this was probably just weeks later, and I could only get it like halfway there. And so I went to see Dr. Figueroa, and he's like, "Oh," after explaining that it was probably a folding because the patient kept going like this.
Yeah.
And yeah, and he was holding a rope that got pulled, so
Oh,
that makes sense. Anyway, I brought him back and treated the folding, and it had full range of motion. And I was so blown away by this, and I was encouraged by Dr. Figueroa and some others to write it up as a case report. So I wrote it up and then started presenting it at several of the FDM modules, which I started to attend. And as I got into those, I started using it in practice through residency, which I'm in the military, so
mhm.
residency in Augusta, Georgia, and then ended up going to El Paso, Texas, which is where I'm at now.
Nice.
And I use it quite often. In the military, we get little titles. There's one that's called a pain champion. Just means that you're kind of a primary care referral for pain patients. And
Mhm.
so now I've kind of developed a reputation where they send those to me, and even neurology now is sending me their patients with their migraines and stuff, and
Nice.
it's been great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great that you get that referral base. I think you would probably get a reputation doing FDM anyway, even without the pain champion title, but the two
Yeah,
together, I'm sure, has really sped that up for you.
it has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how how open has the military been with FDM in your
Well, so first off, the military loves osteopaths. Like they just eat it up. They absolutely love it. As far as the soldiers go, leadership, it took a little bit of buy-in, but then once they started seeing some of the results I had, they wanted me to do a Department of Primary Care wide training on FDM, which actually was scheduled for last year in April, and so COVID, it was like the next training, and COVID's like, no. So we're putting that on the back burner. Um, but the patients love it, and a lot of the docs in the clinic and the PAs and nurse practitioners, they love it. They either send me patients or I come into the room and we'll help them, figure out which distortion it is, and we end up treating it. And their patients, the soldiers love it because they'll go from trying to do a push-up on the ground, and they'll get that right down and be like, "Oh, I can't do a push-up, it hurts right here." And you just like nail it, and then they get back down, they're like pumping them out, and they're like, "Yes." So most of them are like that. Some of them kind of want to be sick for some reason, but maybe they're trying to get out of work or something like that. But for the most part, most of them love it, and yeah, it's been really beneficial for a lot of them.
That's great. Now, I know a little bit about your background in the story. So the leadership, it took a study, right, to kind of convince them. It wasn't just anecdotal evidence. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so during residency, I started the same kind of reputation. And once I had published that case report, I got this like bug that's like this research bug. And I don't know where it came from because I was never really a research guy. But once I got this bug, I just felt like I had to do more. So I designed my own feasibility, and it ended up being more of like an effectiveness trial with 50 feet that we treated that had plantar heel pain. And we ended up finishing it in residency,
Mm.
and I've presented it in at NAPCRG and National Pain Week and other national international conferences. And so I was able to bring that up to some of the hospital command team, and that really kind of brought it to their attention, like, wow, because we have a lot of soldiers who suffer from
Mhm.
plantar heel pain and plantar fasciitis. And so when they saw that, wow, this can actually get them back to duty, because we even tracked profile duration, which is this form that they get that says, yeah, you can't perform your duties because you have some physical limiting physical condition that limits your ability to perform your duties. And so we tracked that, and we saw that we had reduced it significantly, just by 2 treatments with the FDM. So yeah, that really got them on board and got their ears perked up. And they're like, oh, really? We can improve readiness, which is this big buzzword in the military. So yeah, they bought into that as soon as we saw that study.
That's great. And the bug that bit you for the research, I think part of it may have come from Todd Capistrant. So,
Probably, yeah.
and a little bit.
Yeah. So he actually let me come into a lot of the modules and show my research
Mhm.
and present that case report just to kind of get people interested in it, and also just to let me present it. And yeah, you're right. Once I started presenting that more and feeling kind of like I'm representing some research in almost like a pioneering way, because there's so little research. Yeah, that it just bug just got bigger and bigger, and now
Yeah, no, that's great. And he saw something in you that is of value to AFDMA and FDM early on in this. And that's how we met because you were at a module that you presented this to, and I was helping him teach in that module. And that boom, we met. And so now we're both on the board.
Mhm.
And we've created a research committee, and you're chairing that research committee. So um, I talked with Dr. Kinchlow about this, and we've had a recording with him. But tell us a bit more about this committee and what your hopes are for this committee and your role.
Yeah, so we're starting out with just some baby steps, I think, to build something really big, eventually. But starting right now with a research competition that's based off of simple case reports, or really any sort of research that is publishable. And so I know, because I've been in touch with several folks working on IRB studies. So there's some other things going on, not just case reports, but really anyone that has research in FDM that has a good case. It is not too difficult to write it up. And once you got it written up, you can submit it to our competition. And at the end, we collect these reports in May, and then we'll be able to have a drawing to see who wins a couple awesome prizes. Hopefully that gives that bug to some more people that kind of start creating new research ideas. Um, and then if you can publish your research, and the whole idea is to do research to publish it. So that is the main point. The main point isn't a presentation or a poster. This is something I learned from my mentors. It's to get it published. It's to get it into the public's eye so that other people can reference it. My mini trial that I'm publishing, hopefully soon. I'm actually about to submit the latest draft here in maybe the next day or two. I've just about cited all of the FDM research that's out there. So there's a lot of room for research to be published in this field for sure. And so, yeah, we hope for people to get ready to publish. And I am available to mentor if you want assistance writing an IRB, if you want someone to look over your manuscript with you, or help you with wording, or you have a design that you're kind of going through your head and you want some help with it. Since I've been through it and I know what a lot of the journals are looking for, I feel like I can be of help. So I'm available for just about anyone that wants to shoot me an email or even give me a call and we can talk about it. But the goal then is once you get it published every 2 years, we have a running uh, competition as well. And that one we actually judge a little bit more. It's not at random. We're going to actually be looking at your article and see the quality. And based off of the quality of your publications, there will also be even bigger prizes for those
Yes.
folks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is a pioneering thing that you're doing. In this contest that we've created, we want to bring more people that want to pioneer this area of research, because you're right. You cited all of the current FDM research that's out there. And now that we've done that, well, now that you've done that and we've collectively put all of that together, that list is available to anybody now that's a member. On the AFDMA website. So it will make the search for materials to reference a lot easier. So we've already done some legwork for people that want to do research in FDM. Like, we already know what's out there. So
Yep.
anything that you want to do, there's probably space on our body map for you to input your own ideas and your own research. And
Yeah.
having your guidance and your mentorship, I think, is extremely valuable. And it adds to AFDMA membership's value, because if you're a member, you have access. They have access to you and Dr. Kinchlow and your mentorship. So I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, the website right now is really set up to help the researcher
Mhm.
with that body map. You click on any area and there's all the research that we have found. Um, some of it is even originally in a different language, and you'll only be able to read the abstract in English. That's how far we've gone to make sure we get this as updated as possible. And we're updating it all the time. In fact, this year, I believe it was um, in
And
January, or it could have been December, there was a new article published on ankle
yeah,
sprains and FTM, which as soon as I saw that, I grabbed it and put it right into my
yeah.
paper that I'm writing right now for
And
more
that one
support.
is in German, I think, translated into English. And I think it
Yeah,
was from Ken Nakasone. He's also a board member. Yeah. So
yep,
that was cool to see some newer research come out. So hopefully we'll be seeing more of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that covers our bases. Are there any other fun stories or things FGM related that you wanted to share with the membership?
Well, just one of the things that I love about FDM is, at work I'm the OIC as well, so I'm in charge of several of the providers. And what I love about it is they'll see me do one treatment and then they'll come in a couple days later and be like, "You'll never guess what? I put this herniated trigger point in and it squished right in and they got better." And it's just like they're so pumped and animated. I just love it.
Yeah.
This FDM is just so awesome. Just how quickly you can change somebody's life,
Mhm.
restore their range of motion, decrease their pain. It's wonderful.
Mhm.
And if we can turn that experience into research, we'll be able to make a much bigger impact on how many people we can help. And I think in the end, that's what it comes down to is how many more people can we help with FDM? There are so many people that need it, so many people living in chronic pain that could probably get better with just a few treatments of FDM. And the more we can get this out, the more of those people we can help.
That's a fantastic point, and I fully agree. And that enthusiasm happens to just about everybody that's enthusiastic about FDM. Like
Mhm.
everybody that's in a module has a similar story. So we know that it works because we see it, but nobody's put together the research yet. So that I think is an important next step for AFDMA. And we're headed there. It's just slow right now and just the beginning. So hopefully 5 years from now, it's going to be much more robust. And I'm looking forward to seeing that. And your name and Dr. Kinchlow's names on more papers and research contest participants and their names published in some journals. So that'll be really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll hopefully put my at least get my contact information out there, maybe somewhere close to this where we post it, so folks can
Sure.
easily reach out to me.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Great. Well, thank you so much for having this virtual meeting with me and allowing us to record this and post it. Thanks for your
Mhm.
time, and I'm very much looking forward to continuing working with you on all of this.
All right, me too. Thank you.